Chevrolet is very quickly electrifying their entire lineup of vehicles, building off of the GM modular EV architecture called Ultium. We've actually experienced a couple Ultium platform vehicles, ranging from the GMC Hummer EV Super Truck to the Cadillac Lyriq, and most recently we previewed the all-new Chevy Blazer EV, but this vehicle here is the latest all-electric Chevrolet, the Chevy Equinox EV. We are here today with various members of the Chevy team. They are the experts. They're going to walk us around, show us things about the design, interior, exterior technology, and then I'll grab my camera and give you guys a walk around. But before we get into that, I have two really exciting numbers about the Chevy Equinox EV that I want to share. The first one is a targeted approximate $30,000 base price for a 1LT starting, which is very affordable for an EV crossover. And the second one is one of the configurations of the Equinox EV will have a targeted 300 miles of pure electric range. Both of those numbers are quite impressive. With that, let's check out the Equinox EV.
Hi, I'm Amy McDonald. I manage the features and technologies on the Equinox EV. So let me show you this big, beautiful baby. So on the outside, when we're talking about technology, the first thing that'll likely catch your eye is our flush door handles. Not only is this a really impressive design statement, but it also has loaded with technology. So upon approach with your authenticated device, such as your key fob, these handles will actually deploy for you. And then upon opening, you just grab your handle, open the door, and you're ready to go. So as I continue to the rear plane of the vehicle, not only do we have some really great technology that is customer facing, trying to make your cargo load and unload experience better, we also have some beautiful lighting animation that I'd love to show off. So the Chevrolet welcome greeting animation is what you're seeing here, and then we also have a farewell or exit. Another really cool thing about the Equinox EV, that we do have an available presence-based hands-free liftgate system. It's a shared design enabler with the Blazer EV, so instead of having to push a button, press something on your key fob, or shake your foot underneath the vehicle, the sensors on the back of the vehicle will detect your presence and the liftgate will open. So I think as we continue around the vehicle, you'll see some hints of some of this great amount of sensor farm and ultrasonics, long range, short range, and other cameras that make our active safety and assisted driving technologies possible. So the only thing I will mention on this vehicle in terms of technology is, in addition to being this beautiful animation of the lighting, you can also use the lighting cues to indicate what your state of charge is on your Equinox EV. So if I show you this pulsating blue, as you continue to charge in 10% increments, it will be indicative of what state of charge that your battery is at. So with that, I'd love to take you on the inside. So one of the first things that typically catches the eye when you enter the Equinox EV is these screens. They are 17.7-inch diagonal touchscreen. We also call this a freeform display, meaning that the display graphics actually follow the flow of the shape of the screen itself, which essentially means no pixel left behind. We are giving you as much screen action as we possibly can. So you can expect a 17.7-inch screen on some of your upper level 2LT, 2RS and 3RS trims. And then on some of our lower trims, you can still see an outstanding screen that's approximately 11 inches. Both of these screen types are complemented by an 11-inch driver information center that you can see here behind your steering wheel. Pretty impressive amount of technology on this thing. And as you can see on the main screen here, this is an example of Ultify, which is our end-to-end software platform that enables frequent and seamless deliveries, enhancements to features, new features, and other software updates over the air. You can see Super Cruise embedded driver monitoring system on the steering wheel as well as behind the steering wheel. The industry's first hands-free driving technology possible. You probably saw just over a month ago, Chevrolet announced more than doubling the amount of compatible roads. So we're exceeding 400,000 miles of compatible roads in North America, and that's the United States and Canada. Another great technology talking point inside this vehicle is the heads-up display. So this projects holographic images right into your windshield, right in your plain view, so you can get some critical driver and vehicle information without having to look at a different cluster or different screen. Each vehicle also comes standard with a wireless charging module, and then we also offer 2 USB-C ports in the front, and then we also have the same ports in the back as well. So you won't see a button or any sort of key ignition. We really took that to the next level technologically, so you just get in with your authenticated device, put your foot on the brake, and you're ready to go. We also have one pedal drive, and if you want to adjust the aggressiveness of your regenerative braking, you can do so with that paddle. Which is really cool about our implementation of the feature is we give you 3 different levels to meet your preference of what kind of regenerative braking you like. Me personally, I like a really aggressive one pedal drive, really aggressive regenerative braking, so I can shove all the energy back into the battery and never need to use the brake pedal. Actually a standard feature across all all trims on the Equinox EV, so we're pretty proud of that as well. In addition to Super Cruise, we have a whole host of other active safety features. We have reverse automatic braking, which I like because if I have something in my rear plane of the vehicle while I'm in reverse and I can't see, the vehicle will detect it and will algorithmically command your vehicle to a stop. Not only keeping the occupants inside safe, but also keeping any precious pedestrians on the outside safe as well. So I'm a pretty big fan of that feature.
I'm Matt Purdy, so I'm the chief engineer of the Equinox EV. We have two looks for the Equinox. We have the LT look and the RS look. So what you see here, this is the LT look. On the screen over there, the red is the RS look. You'll notice that it's got some black features, black wheels, black badging, black grille, so it's a little more sporty type appearance. This is the LT look, so we have the body colored wheel opening moldings, a little bit of chrome accent there on the rocker, and a body color front fascia. We have a couple wheel sizes. So what you see here, this is the largest wheel size. It's a 21-inch wheel, and this is standard on the level 3. So the 3RS and the 3LT will have a 21-inch wheel. You can option to that on the 2LT and the 2RS. The LT would start out with a 19-inch wheel. The RS would start out with a 20-inch wheel. As far as battery sizes, we do have two different size batteries. The largest battery, which would be represented here in the all-wheel drive 3LT, in an all-wheel drive configuration, it's around 280-mile range. In a front drive configuration, we should be around 300-mile range. On the base model that we advertise, around 30,000 starting price, we'll be offering up to 250 miles, and that's the small battery front-wheel drive configuration. So a lot of good choices for the customers there. We do have a couple options for charging as well. So we have standard is 11.5 kilowatt charger, so it's about 35 miles per hour of charging. We do have on the 3RS, you can option up to a 19.2 kilowatt charger, which is about a 51 miles per hour charging. And then for all of them, we have 150 kilowatt DC fast charge. With this vehicle, it's about 70 miles in about 10 minutes. Give the customer the most bang for the buck. With that, we got to be very careful with what and how we budgeted, but we didn't want to make a cheap car. We wanted to make something that still has that premium look and feel. So on the exterior, we have great proportion just due to the Ultium system, how the battery is positioned in the chassis. We have a nice long wheelbase that enables us to make the proportioning a little more, let's say, rear drive sporty proportion. So in the front, we have what you call ball of foot to front axle. So we have a little bit of a longer, where the occupant's ball of foot is to the front axle line is a little longer than you traditionally see in a front drive SUV. So we could get this kind of nice, sleek proportion to it. It also helps with aerodynamics too. We did spend a little bit of money here on doing a nice high-tech LED light all the way across the back of the vehicle. And when it's not lit, it has a really neat appearance. We call that neutral density appearance. So you don't really see any color. Looks really cool with a black vehicle. You know, once you activate the lights, then the red comes through. This would represent our up-level lamps, so we have more finite control of the LEDs, so we can do walk up and walk away animation, charge animation, swipe turn, all the good stuff there. On the base level vehicle, it's the same look, but it's a different LED technology, so we do have a fade on and fade off approach and walk away lighting, but this represents the up level. In the back here, behind the rear seats, about 27.5 cubic feet of space. The load floor will be dual height, so this is in the upper position. It does go to a lower position, and it is hinged, and so there is quite a bit of storage underneath it, so you can put your spare charge cord there, and there's more room for other stuff. In the final version 2, that's not represented in this model, we do have this area carved out so you can fit a gallon milk jug. Just a nice little touch for grocery shopping and that type of thing. With the seats folded down, it's about a 57.5 space of cubic feet.
How does that compare to the gas previous gen Equinox?
So it's a little less than the, it's comparable, but it's a little less than the current gas Equinox. It's a couple cubic feet different. We also have an LED in the center of the dash. That's our primary charge indication. So you'll be blinking red, blinking green, or blinking blue if you're in delay charging, or if there's an error. The regular beam lamps are actually down here. So we wanted to keep a nice, sleek, thin lit signature on the top. So we were able to put the regular high and low beams down there in the bottom of the grille. And this car is equipped with Chevrolet's IntelliBeam system, where it's an automatic dimming system using the camera in the windshield. If there's a car coming at you with its lights on, we'll know that we can dim the lights automatically. The other thing with EVs, you don't need quite as much front-end airflow to cool some of the components. So you'll notice, I think, a trend in a lot of the EVs is the OEMs are trying to figure out what to do with the front end of the vehicle, because now it's a new palette for the design team to work with. In our case, the team really wanted to play around with different patterns and textures here. Some of the competitors in the market, it's a very plain look, and we wanted to accentuate it a little bit and play with that. So the team here did a really nice job of coming up with a cool looking pattern. We do have an upper grille here and then a lower grille, and you can see they've got this carbon fiber texture that is also a really neat feature. It's a textured look.
Okay.
Yep. that looks like carbon fiber. We do also have some functional aerodynamics on the car. So this element here, it looks neat, but it's also functional. It's a functional air scoop. We call it an air curtain. Air comes in this way, and the outlet of the air is here in the fender, and that helps push the air down the side of the car, helps us with aerodynamics, and gives a little more range for our customers. There's a lot of exciting on the Equinox EV. One of my personal favorites actually is heated wiper park. You know, this whole car is exciting, but for me it's fun. My poor wife has never been able to park in the garage because I've got the garage full of project cars and tools, and so quite often in the winter her wipers are stuck to the windshield. And in the case of the Equinox EV, we do have a heated wiper park, so we have heated elements in the windscreen where the wipers are parked. You can either remote start your EV, or you can, while it's plugged in, you can have the windshield thawed out where the wipers are parked. So that's just a nice little touch that I personally like.
My name is Sam Bell. I'm the lead exterior creative designer of the all-new Equinox EV. And so I'm here today to talk a little bit about the design with you, the exterior styling, and give you a little overview. So this car, like most designs, started with a pencil on paper, so it was a sketch. And my goal was to design something fresh, something new that's never been designed before, but also to design something that reminds our audience that Chevrolet is Americana cool. So to do that, I looked at things that were uniquely American, really inspired by our wide open landscape, mid-century modern architecture, and some of the great automotive designs of the 60s and the 70s. I own a couple classic Chevrolets myself, 71 C10, and I got a 92 Chevy pickup truck, Silverados. And I think what it is about those designs that I like so much, they're clean and simple. At the same time, they're confident, and I think they represent the American dream. So it's my goal to, when I'm designing a Chevrolet, to take some of those traits and modernize them. So on this car, on the Equinox, some of the things that we've reinvented are this two-tone roof, which is really cool because it offers differentiation between the LT and the RS, and it also gives the customer a little more personalization. Another like very Chevy design brand cue is this brow line, right? So it stretches from one corner of the car all the way to the other corner. And you'll find this on 60s and 70s Camaros and trucks, and you'll also find this on new Camaros and trucks. What I wanted to do was use some of our technology to emphasize that line. At night, you'll also be able to see how wide this car is. Body side. So for the lines on this car, I wanted to take a less is more approach, let there be some focal point, and really let the tech and the proportions speak for themselves. This thing's on the Ultium platform. And for us designers, this is really good because it makes the car longer, lower, and wider than the current day Equinox. Some of the cool features about the lights is that we're finally getting them thin enough to really look like the sketches that we've been drawing. Range is really important on this car, right? So we spent a lot of time in the wind tunnel, shaving off every last count that we could. And I'm really proud that we were able to keep such a dynamic silhouette. So like the center line of the car, while still keeping the rear storage you've come to expect from an Equinox. And at the same time, like because of the extra width, we got these shoulders. So you really get this kind of the shoulders and the stance of a sports car. You get the best of both worlds. And that about sums up the exterior styling.
So my name is Arthur. I'm an interior designer lead on the new Equinox EV. I think like the exterior, we are trying to be more simplistic and minimalist, but at the same time trying to translate the new athletic shapes and the sportiness of Chevrolet. So you can see the IP has this really crispy lining here, and the rest is super sculpted and like I said, more athletic. Looking around, we have this round vents here that bring the sportiness again of the Chevrolet, reminds you of Camaro or even the new Blazer EV. So it's a really cool feature, and it brings you this richness and this jewel effect when you sit on the car. We also have this new E-S here. So this is basically your shifter. It's a column mounted electronic shifter, so it frees a lot of space on the console for new storage areas and new open spaces for you. We have a pass-through console, which is really nice for bigger storage, like a purse or big bags or something like that. So it's a really cool feature that allows with this new platform, since we have the flat floor because of the battery package. Most of the controls to the big screens, and we kept the most useful ones they use more often doing on a day-by-day basis as a physical control, so which is really good because it simplifies when you're driving. You don't need to be searching for your commands. It's just going to be here, and the rest is going to be on the screen for you to go ahead and use it. So as you can see on the valence panel for the speakers, we have a cool pattern going all the way around cross car to car. We have some patterns on the decals on the IP as well, and even cool features like some Easter eggs behind the screens. Then we have the Chevrolet logo and some cool linear patterns as well. So we have ambient light on the IP and door. So in this area during the day, you're gonna see like you're seeing right now, it's basically a normal deco. But at night, we have this technology called backlit ambient light, which is basically behind the deco. At night, there's a new pattern that's gonna shine and create the ambient light for you. So we have that in this area of the IP and also on the door in here. It's an RGB, so you can customize with the colors that you want. So yeah, it's really nice feature to have it as well. It's a lot of features, a lot of technological areas and parts in a super affordable EV. I think that's the most appealing part of the new Equinox EV.
So here is the all-new Equinox EV, and check out the walk-up, wake-up animation for the full light bar up front. And it has a lot of different functionality, from showing your charging status to all these really cool animations. Look at that. That's such a cool touch and a huge design element. And then below that is the actual headlight there, and you see this carbon fiber textured finish, the Chevy bow tie up front, and also this bumper area, instead of a front grille, because you don't need that much airflow, has a really cool texture to it too. This one is a 3LT, so you have a two-tone finish. This blue has a lot of flake to it, as does the top white portion. Just look at this mirror. The two-tone white finish with the blue for the LT trim. The RS trims get black with the other paint finish. These are also the upgraded wheels. Pretty sporty design. I believe they're 21-inch wheels. And as the various members of the Chevy team pointed out, the flush door handles, they look really nice, aerodynamic, and it's a really cool tech feature. And then coming around back, we also have that really awesome light bar. We've heard about the technical aspects of it, showing the animations, but I just love the three-dimensional depth and effect. You can see a lot of like sculpting in the shape of them. It just gives this really cool 3D effect, and I'm a big fan of that. We have the Equinox all-wheel drive badge right there. So this is available either as a front-wheel drive model or a all-wheel drive model. This is a representative model of a pretty higher end one, so all-wheel drive for this 3LT. With that, let's go check out the interior. This one here is a really cool white and black two-tone finish. We have a big panoramic sunroof up there. And then it also has this really cool kind of steel gray blue accent on the door panels, around the air vents too. The steering wheel has the Super Cruise display there, which is GM's really awesome hands-free driver assistance system. The screens are off, but I was showing them earlier, the full digital cluster here, and then the upgraded 17.7-inch touchscreen is awesome. The seats are pretty comfortable. Actually, this is a really important thing. I'm gonna try out the second row space. So at 6'3", I have plenty of knee room here. Legroom is pretty good. Headroom is actually quite good too. The rear space of the Equinox is definitely good, and also because it's a pure electric vehicle and there's a flat load floor, you get really awesome packaging. This has heated second row seats, and you see two USB-C ports back here for the passengers in the second row. And then there's also a pretty decent sized trunk in the back too. From the second row, you can also take a quick view panning across the front of the Equinox EV. So there is a preview of the all-new Chevy Equinox EV. 210 horsepower and 242 pound-feet of torque for the front-wheel drive model, 290 horsepower and 346 pound-feet of torque for the all-wheel drive model, and there's various configurations of the large and regular battery packs, with the max one being a 300 miles of range, but even the all-wheel drive big battery pack still has quite impressive range numbers. There's going to be various trim levels available. This one is a 3LT representative. There's also the RS version, which does look a little more sporty with the blacked out roof. I'm excited for the Equinox EV because it's a more mainstream, affordable, more attainable electric crossover that has a variety of different ranges, a lot of technology features. This is going to be awesome. Chevy is going to continue to electrify their lineup. We've got the Silverado, we've got the new Blazer EV coming. We also obviously have had the Bolt EV and EUV, but here is the all-new Chevy Equinox EV. Thanks for watching.